Welcome everyone to another Let's Play from me, the Mysterious JG. This could be a long one, folks, so get comfortable. Well, I mean, you're not going to watch it all in one sitting, this one. No way, I can't even play this game all in one sitting. But it's a game from Koei. And why do I always act like there's suspense? You can see the title of the video. But it is a Koei Shiabu... Oh, I'm butchering his name, I'm sure. I'm not even going to finish saying it. It is a historical simulation game. It is Romance of the Three Kingdoms. But which Romance of the Three Kingdoms game is it, folks? How good is your reading of Roman numerals? Is the X for extreme? This is an X, this is XI. We start our adventure at a waterfall. Which, well, you know, waterfalls. There must be some Chinese dude training at the bottom, but right? There's Lubu. He's spraying you. That's kind of gross. There's dramatic music. There's Ma Chao. There's Zhang Fei. They have a very famous duel in the novel before Ma Chao joins Shu. And we all know what side Bobo the Vulture is rooting for. Then there's a chick dancing. That's Jiao Chan. If a chick shows up dancing in a Romance of the Three Kingdoms cinema, it's about a 90% she's Jiao Chan. 90% chance, 9% chance she's Sun Shengzhang, and 1% chance someone else. Think that's Cao Cao. Although that appears to be Shu cavalry. So their horses are, of course, wearing horseshoes. And there's generic dudes. There's Ma Chao. There's Lubu. There's Zhang Fei. There's Guan Yu to bring us home. Thus ends... it's not a bad intro sequence. The one from Romance X is actually way cooler. And Romance X is in some ways... it's a very different game. Oddly enough, despite being in the same series, because you only control one person instead of a whole force. But I've really never gotten through a game of Romance X without my character dying before China was unified, so I'm going to take a crack at Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11. Now, let's start off with, well, let's go to the options real quick. We can continue, represented by Guan Yu, riding presumably red hair. No, because that's red hair and it's being ridden by Lu Bu if we start a new game. You do tutorial with the help of Cao Cao / Cao Cao, sometimes known as Cocoa Puffs. I will not be calling them Cocoa Puffs, mostly because I've played Dynasty Warriors that Cao Cao is really ingrained in my head, and just remembering that it's probably supposed to be Cao Cao is pretty difficult. We could create an officer with the aid of Zhuge Liang, aka Kong Ming, and we have the options, which I think that's... who is that? Zhao Yu? Zhou Yu? There's a guy on... yeah, sorry. There's a lot of Chinese names in this, folks. I'm not Chinese. I'm doing my best. But yeah, this is a simulation game where you play a very long, drawn-out strategic simulation. It's kind of a bloody, Chinesier version of Aerobiz Supersonic in a way, because it's from the same company. And, you know, Bobo seemed to have a good time playing Aerobiz. I've played this game before, and I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't think initially it would be a good Let's Play, but, you know, been watching somebody else's Let's Play of an earlier game in the series, and... this is Grim. He's got like more subscribers than I have videos. He's one of those guys. But he's actually like commented on Bobo's and myself's videos, and you know, we've watched his, and his were pretty freaking cool. Well, I thought I might take a stab at this, and you know, what's the worst that can happen? Is that I just don't finish it. I have yet to not finish a game that I've started Let's Playing. This would be the most likely for that to end up happening with, because it's a very long game. But, I could always just do the tutorials, give you guys a chance to do some feedback on whether or not you want to see more. So let's start with that. Alright. Learn the basics of domestic policy controlling Liu Bei of the Xiaopei period. Guan Yu will teach you such things as what is needed to enrich your country, along with what kind of government facilities there are, and how to go about building them. Your goal is to prepare enough national resources to be able to stand up to Lu Bu of Xiaopei. I'm really not doing a good job of explaining this game, am I? This game, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, is a strategic simulation set in ancient China. It's during what was known as the Three Kingdoms period, where, although the game starts before it really happens, there eventually are going to be three kingdoms of approximately equal size and power, sort of in a three-way Mexican standoff for China. So it's kind of like a three-way Chinese standoff. It's kind of like a Chinese fire drill. And there was a novel written about it. The novel is hundreds and hundreds of years old, but was written hundreds of years after the event. And that novel which is not terribly historically accurate, according to most people, most historians, think that they dramatize stuff to a certain extent. But it was a novel. It was a classic Chinese novel. It's the foundation of a lot of Eastern literature, I suppose. I don't know. I've read it, actually, but I only read it because I liked the video games that came from it, and that's why we're here. So that's a lot of blathering. I'll get into some of the details of what's going on later. But let's watch a tutorial. There's several tutorials on how to do all the important stuff you need to do to win this game. So let's see how many I can get done, and when I'm roughly half an hour into this video, I'll either finish the tutorial I'm on, or if it's like 25 minutes in, I might not start a new one. You know what I'm saying. Country basics. What I'm saying is, we've got about a half an hour of tutorials. If you think you're up for that, it will make watching me play the game itself much easier later if you want to do that. Liu Bei, Sai. Oh, I'm going to have to come up with voices for everyone? I don't think I can do that. Sai, Xiao Pi really is poor. I miss being in Jia Pi. And, you know, he's Chinese, so he can tell the difference. Whereas to me, I'm like, wait, aren't they the same thing? I don't... Guan Yu, don't talk like that. Jia Pi, or Xiao Pi can be just as good a city as Jia Pi if you just work at it. Why, their names are practically identical. What's wrong with you? Sure, that's easy to say, but what can I do to make things better? Let me show you the basics of domestic policy using Xiao Pei as an example. Yeah, Liu Bei is like one of the big... He's basically the main character of Three Kingdoms. I mean, the novel takes place over the characters, several characters' lifespans, but he's as close as the novel has to a main character. For the sake of the tutorials, because people are teaching him how to do stuff, Liu Bei comes across as kind of an idiot. This is Guan Yu, his sworn brother. Well, maybe I'll get around to talking about that eventually. First of all, you'll need gold. Most commands, including recruit and inspections, require gold, after all. Let's look at the city's revenue. And if it seems like I'm reading at a third grade level, it's because my screen is not doing great with this text. Apologies. This number is the amount of gold that will come in next month. Whoa, that's not very much, dude. Maybe not, but just wait. I'm going to tell you how to increase your city's revenue. Ooh, do tell, do tell! To increase your revenue, you have to develop markets. Why don't you try using the Develop City command to build a market right now? Hold me back! I mean, City command? How do I use those? This really is quite basic stuff. Just move the cursor over Xiao Pi and press the X button. And since you seem to be a little forgetful, you might want to press the select button every once in a while to check your objectives for this tutorial. Let's press the select button to check our objective for this tutorial. Develop a market in Xiao Pi. And yeah, I'm not going to bother to read the rest of that. But you know what else we can do, folks? We can look and see what's going on in China. See, here's China, folks. China, and it's like up here, over here somewhere. You're going to head off in the direction of Korea. You got Mongolia is over here. Well, I mean, this isn't Mongolia, but this is like real close to Mongolia. We got your basic Burmas and Vietnams down here. That's China, all right. Now, I could not tell you where any modern Chinese cities are on this map. I think Beijing's up here someplace. And, yeah, Jackie Chan's off on the coast somewhere. But there's a bunch of forces on this map. Doesn't matter. It's a tutorial. We're never going to leave this city. We're never going to do anything outside of this area. So let's get right back to work. Let's do what Guan Yu, our sworn oath brother from the Peach Garden, which I might explain later, told us to do. Let's do some city commands. Develop. Everything else is grayed out because we are supposed to be concentrating on developing. We are going to develop Guan Yu. Yes, we're going to build Guan Yu for our town. If you choose officers with a high politics poll rating, it won't take as long to develop. You can select up to 3 officers to perform the task. The computer will pretty much automatically pick any task that you do. The computer is going to recommend the 3 best officers to do it, assuming you've got 3 officers. It'll give you the best choice you've got. As Guan Yu just told us, building things to help your city. Everybody's got several stats: war, intelligence, charisma, politics, and whatever the other one is. Politics is the one that helps here. So it's given us our 3 most politically savvy officers, I suppose. We can go in and manually pick other people. If we want to make Liu Bei come in there instead of Chen Deng, they've got the same pol, so it wouldn't make much difference. We want Guan Yu to get involved. We can do that. Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, you see down there, those are Liu Bei's oath brothers. Guan Yu's pretty competent overall. Zhang Fei is really high war stat, sucks at everything else. But let's go with what was recommended to us. Next, select a development location. Choose an empty spot. The areas that are lit up are empty. Here, for example, use the X button to make your selection. There is a certain amount of strategery, I should say, and where you want to build these markets, because there is another type of thing that you can develop later called the mint. The mint does not produce gold, but it makes any market that it's touching produce 1.5 times as much gold, 50% more gold, which means that if you've got 3 hexes, there's no point in building a mint. You might as well make 3 markets. If you've got more than 3, and you can find a way to hook 3 markets up next to a mint, you're going to make more gold than you would from 4 mints. So I, as a force of habit, always try to find the hex that is touching a lot of other hexes, and reserve it so that I can put a mint there later. That is more than you probably needed to know right now. Guan Yu. Alright, you have the location selected. Let's move on. If you just press the circle button to advance a turn, the market will be finished. Usually this would take several turns, but we'll speed things up for this tutorial. Why, thank you, Guan Yu. Let's do as this man said and press circle to end the turn. Look, the market is finished! Well done. But you'll have to do more than just develop government facilities. If a city's order is low, its revenue will also suffer. Order can be increased via the inspections command. So a city's revenue and food depend on its order, eh? I'll have to keep that in mind, by the way. How much did developing the market increase the city's revenue? Let's see. Yes, I think it has gone up a bit. Good! We were making 300, now we're making 400, so indeed, that did help. Come now, if you're going to be a leader, you can't let yourself be satisfied with vague information like that. You need to know exactly what's going on in your city. What? Don't pick. I'm doing my best, alright. So anyway, can I go now? What? Surely you don't think you've mastered development by building 1 market, do you? It's one hell of a good market. I certainly do. I've got the hang of this, no problem. You don't think you can teach me anything else, do you? I'm not sure why they're making Liu Bei such a bumpkin here. But, you always let a little success go to your head. What do you mean? All I have to do is build a bunch of markets and I'll have all the gold I need in just 1 turn. Do you really think it's going to be that easy? Yeah, it wouldn't be much of a simulation. The number of commands you can perform in a single turn is limited by your action points. Your AP. You can't just do everything you want all at once. If you've got enough officers, you almost can, but... Oh, that's no fun. Why don't you play Dynasty Warriors if all you want to do is smash buttons, you stupid... just remember that you have to keep an eye on your action points. Now then, before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to have to demolish this market. What? No! Next, we're going to talk about the effects of the various government facilities. The types of government facilities are as follows. A market. Okay, I just built one of those. These. That's correct. A market increases your revenue and a farm increases your food harvest. A barracks houses troops. You can use the barracks command once for each barracks. This game, troop recruitment is very different from other games. If I recall correctly, and I haven't played in a while, having a barracks means that you get to produce troops, and it doesn't reduce the population of the city, which is nice, because in, Romance of Three Kingdoms X, if you take over a city and you want to recruit a huge army, next thing you know, you have a tiny civilian population, and you can basically exhaust a city to the point where it doesn't have enough people left over to recover. So, in this game, not as much of a problem. You can basically produce as many troops as you can afford to feed and pay. I see. So that means that if a city doesn't have a barracks, you can't use the recruit command at all. Correct. Precisely. You're catching on faster than I thought you would. Why, thank you. Hey! Ah, it's a piece of cake for a master of development like myself. I guess it's just a gift. I figured it out right away. Okay, so you're a master. Let's just get back to the explanation, okay? The workshop, stables, smith, and shipyard are required to create armaments and ships. I see. So I'll need to develop these before I can get the equipment I need for battle. That's right. Of course, a master like you must already know all this. Now, let me explain about the mint and the granary. Oh, why did I bother? He was going to explain it. Why did I explain it? They have some special effects. And what might they be? What's this? Is the master confused? I'll just get on with the explanations. Of course not. I know what a mint and granary are, more or less. Wah, wah, wah. I see. Well, this will be a review for you then, but let's go over it anyway. The mint and granary have no effect on their own. Yeah, I knew he was going to interrupt. Why would anyone want to develop a facility like that? I'm not finished. The mint and granary do have effects, just not on their own. What are you talking about? Spit it out, Guan Yu. A mint that is placed next to a market, or a granary that is placed next to a farm, will increase the effectiveness of those facilities by 1.5 times their normal rate. You lost me there. Well, maybe it would be simplest if we tried a hands-on approach. And now they're going to explain what I already explained. Let's start by developing a mint. It usually takes several turns to complete, but we'll speed things up for this explanation. As you can see, just developing a mint doesn't affect your revenue. I can't see that. We're not on the menu screen at all. However, if you build a mint next to a market, the revenue it produces will be 1.5 times its normal rate. In this case, these locations are next to a market. Or a mint. Or, I don't know. Now then, we'll build a market in one of these areas. Hey, the revenue really did go up by 1.5. But wait a minute, wouldn't it be better just to build 2 markets instead? Yes, I'm sure of it. You can't fool me. I'm surprised he could figure that out. Yes, you're absolutely right. If we build another market next to the mint, as you can see, the more markets you build next to a mint, the more useful they will become. Just watch. I'm not making Guan Yu talk all deep and manly like Guan Yu. Just watch. We're going to build a lot. Wow, the city's revenue went up just like that. Mints are pretty impressive. A mint that is placed next to a market or a granary that is placed next to a farm will increase the effectiveness of the facility by 1.5 times. Not bad. You've even surprised me, the old master. I see. Anyway, just remember that locations where facilities can be developed are limited in each city. If you don't have a plan, you'll find yourself running out of space pretty quickly. That's true. In this game, it does not take all that long to build everything you can in a city, which basically means you can max out your city's production pretty quickly if you have enough officers. Don't worry about that. Planning is my specialty. For some reason, it doesn't make me feel any better. He's not ready to be a leader yet. I am going to have to depose you and take over. You will be the junior brother. Now then, why don't you try your hand at some actual development? Use what I just explained to develop Xiaopi, and don't you try and get a revenue of Why don't you try and get a revenue of 1,000 and a harvest of 16,000 within 120 days? I'm sure a master like you already knows this, but if you forget what it is you have to do, just press the select button to check. Goal: bring Xiaopi's revenue to 1,000 more. Don't forget to conduct inspections. Blah blah blah. Okay. It is now your turn. Nice. Okay, so I can do all this other stuff now, like award employees, search for officers, a lot of stuff that obviously is not going to be important for the tutorial. So let us instead put 6 officers to work building stuff, and then we'll put... Oh, they've already put a lot of stuff in place for me. Okay, so we're going to have 2 people who will do inspection. Order can be raised to, I believe, 100 as a maximum in this game. So let's get our best possible dudes building. We've got 3 markets, we've got 3 farms, we have a smith, or a mint, but no granary. So let's get the granary next to... They've probably already, yes, they have already arranged the farms for us. Certainly, I could not read that before it went away. Now we've got a total of 5 officers, we can get something else building. We have 2 pieces of free land left, folks. Normally, I would want to build a barrack so we could recruit troops, and we would need to build a smith if we wanted to be able to give them weapons. You can recruit troops. Instead of being just considered unarmed, they're called swords in this game. Those are basically troops who do not have special equipment. They suck. They get slaughtered. If you see the enemy throwing swords at you, that basically means you've bankrupted their city and they're on their last legs. So I would, if I was going to seriously pursue this city, build a barracks and a smith, and I would just have to live with 3 markets, 3 farms, a mint and a granary. But because this is a tutorial, let's go ahead and max out that money and food as quickly as we can, since clearly that's what we have to do to get this thing to end. And let's get Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, who are powerful warriors but too stupid to build anything, despite Guan Yu having spoken down to you for the entire tutorial. We're going to get them working on order, because order, I believe, is the war stat. They're the only 2 left, so they're the only 2 we could use. But I think the war stat is what because they're basically going around town, I guess they're being like vigilantes. They're taking out like the Joker and the Penguin and stuff. They're wandering around town, and if they see like crooks stealing old ladies' purses, they skewer them and cut their heads off and hang them outside the city square. So we'll go ahead and get them involved in the order business. As long as I, Zhang Fei, am around, this city will move its text faster than JG can read. And now we have really no choice but to end our turn. We could reward an award. You don't need an officer to do that. But, what we really need to do is end our turn. Did circle to do that? Yes, that's right. Okay. Everyone else takes their turns. Zhang Fei, what will be your next move? Will it be to buy me some alcohol? I am a drunk. He's drunk, folks. It's pretty much in the book. Now, what have we got to do? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I need to go to the city itself. I have 2 officers who are free, because the people who are developing are going to spend several turns developing. The people who were just doing inspections are free on the next turn to inspect or do stuff again. Let's have them inspect again, because I don't want them to start developing. It will take forever. There are only 2 of them, and they have really low politics scores. But if we pay them 100 gold, they will wander around and restore our order to 96. So let's do that. I will spare no effort to bring something, something, something. I cannot read that fast when my monitor's not... Anyway, no, we are obviously meant to win this, folks. This is the tutorial. There's no way for us to lose, really. I mean, in theory, I could play around with it and see what would happen if you just... Oh, the facilities are constructed, blah, 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 your turn has come. So, Liu Bei's guys finished building their market before the other guys could build a granary. Because the granary, although I put my best politic people on it, it does take more, action points, turns, whatever the heck you want to call it. It takes more to build a granary than it does to build a market. So, let's have Liu Bei in the gang, Jiang Yang and Cheng Gui. Let's have them build another farm next to the incoming granary, so that when the granary kicks in, we'll have 4 farms, all of which are 50% boost to their food production. It'll be incredible. You're not going to believe how fast the food comes in, folks. And we'll just go ahead and do one more set of inspections to get order up to 100. It will not stay there. It will begin to slide. But if you can keep it over 90, it's usually pretty good. Matter of fact, I really don't even need to boost it again, but nothing else for these guys to do. I'll spare no effort to bring peace to the something. And we'll end our turn again. Looks like I'm not going to be getting more than 1 tutorial done per video at this rate. Oof. Although if I'm less gabby in the future ones, who knows. Sun Quan, who is not a member of the Sun family. Interesting. Your turn has come. He shows up in Dynasty Warriors. He's a reasonably significant character in the book as one of Liu Bei's early advisors, but it has always bothered me that his name is Sun and he works for Shu. I keep waiting, like, when is the chapter where he's going to betray them and join with the Wu kingdom, who's run entirely by people named Sun something. Anyway, sorry. What else can I do? I can drill the troops. That doesn't cost any gold. For some reason they'll do this for free, but they demand money before they'll go out and inspect the streets. So let's pay them to drill the troops. Aren't any of you too tired to... So I can't... Damn it! It's way too fast. Maybe I can go to the options and make that take... Yeah, slow that down. But alright. Once again, we're at the end of our turn. The development orders have been fulfilled. Well done! You've met your objective. I knew you could do it. Keep up the good work and keep developing Xiao Pei. Just a minute! Stop being so stingy, you two, and look over here. Zhang Fei, where did you get so many horses and so much gold? It was simple. I just sort of borrowed them from Lu Bu. What? You can do that? That sounds a lot faster than what I've been doing, Guan Yu. Don't be an idiot. He's no better than a bandit. Why did you have to bring this up now, just when you were starting to understand how to manage a city? Hey, don't look so angry. What we took is nothing compared to Lu Bu seizing Xiao Pi, right? Oh, because Lu Bu apparently seized Xiao Pi. I think I remember that. Sir, I bring news. Lu Bu's army has attacked us. They're calling us bandits. They're calling us bandito. I knew this would happen. Now we'll have to stop our lesson on development and fight Lu Bu. To be continued in military basics. Yes, folks, they have set the tutorial up as a narrative story, which is always fun. My favorite level from Assassin's Creed, a game which I think overall sucked. Well, you know, it had beautiful graphics, but yeah, the sequel's apparently good. But the first game was kind of like, ugh. But yeah, in the first couple of missions where they're teaching you how to do stuff, they milk a nice little narrative story where one mission leads to another, and then you get into the game itself and you just randomly fight. Just randomly pickpocket people and prevent bullies from threatening women until you've gathered enough clues to move on with the story. That was a bit of a tangent. But no, we're not playing that. We're playing Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11, where Zhang Fei is excited and happy and kind of looks like Saladin. Or, not Saladin, but, he looks like, the character from Raiders of the Lost Ark. The one that I keep referencing when I'm playing as Olven. It says, I'm the monarch of the sea. Looks a little bit like him, like Arturo from Sliders or something. But anyway, he is going to teach us about military basics in the next video. If you didn't die from boredom watching me do the tutorial on how to run a city, odds are that you'll be able to watch the rest of this game. So, I promise things will get better from here, but I can't promise they'll get much better. If you'd rather watch a game with lots of jiggling boobies, or just an action game, or, you know, this might not be the LP for you, but I hope you stick around. This is Mysterious JG, and we're going to go on to the military basics tutorial in our next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.